In a world that demands so much, we forget to stand still and marvel. This film is an ode to rediscovery, to the quiet rebellion of wonder in a complicated age. Africa, where the wind carries stories older than our worries. A land that whispers, look, listen, remember. Here in Tanzania, the earth unfolds in golden savannas and emerald forests, a masterpiece painted by time, wild and untamed. The Serengeti's endless plains shimmer like liquid gold, while ancient trees stand guard in forests so green, they seem to glow from within. Every dawn here is a promise. This world still knows how to astonish. This is not escape, this is a return. To the crack of a twig under an elephant's foot, the eerie laughter of hyenas in the dark, the hush before a storm paints the distant hills. Here, wonder isn't a distraction, it's the point. Step closer. Let the wild remind you. This is Tanzania.
Et le mot Tarangire, il est divisé en deux. Et Tara, ça veut dire la rivière, et Ngire, ça veut dire animal, facocheur. Ici avant, il y a une seule rivière qui passe au milieu du parc. Il va là-bas pour chercher de l'eau et il rencontre avec les facocheurs. Donc souvent quand il va là-bas, il dit voilà, on va à la rivière des facocheurs, à Tara Ngire. Ouais. Et le parc il est très connu parce que des groupes des éléphants et des arbres de baobab. Ouais. Il y a aussi d'autres animaux, mais ceux qui sont très célèbres ici, ce sont les deux.
Tarangire is no ordinary park. It is a whispered secret, a pulse of wildness where the earth still hums with ancient stories. Here, everything begins with the river. The Tarangire, lifeblood of this kingdom, carves its way through 2,850 square kilometers of golden savannas, murmuring woodlands, and mysterious swamps. But what makes this place truly magical isn't just its vastness, it's the soul that breathes within it. When the dry season arrives, from June to October, the land seems to hold its breath. And then they come, by the thousands. Elephants, silent giants with footsteps heavy with memory. Giraffes, slender towers gliding between the acacias like soft shadows. Zebras, striped with light and dark, and wildebeests, a living tide surging across the plains, all drawn to the river as if pulled by an unseen force. Here, life gathers, dense, vibrant, alive in a way few places on Earth still are. And then there are the baobabs, ancient guardians, some over 1,000 years old, their massive trunks filled with secrets and water. When the rains fail, they become fountains of life, offering their precious sap to thirsty animals. Their twisted silhouettes, sculpted by time, remind us that this land has always been a sanctuary. But at the heart of Tarangire, it's the animals who reign, not as performers, but as the true sovereigns of this wild kingdom. Here, every step, every glance, every breath tells a story older than our own. They are the Earth's titans. The African bush elephants, colossal and wise, ruling Tarangire's plains with a quiet, ancient authority. Here, along the river's edge, herds of 300 strong gather in a spectacle so grand it feels like witnessing the pulse of the planet itself. But their true wonder isn't just their size, it's the depth of their souls. These are beings who remember, who mourn, who teach. Their world is a matriarchy, a sisterhood of survival. The eldest female, scarred by time, wise with decades of droughts and floods, leads them like a queen. She carries the map of the land in her memory, hidden waterholes from seasons long past, safe paths through the thorn scrub, the language of the wind. When the earth cracks with thirst, she knows where to go. Listen. That sound, deep as the rumble of distant thunder, is their voice. Infrasound, vibrations that travel farther than our ears can hear, rolling through the ground like the heartbeat of the land. With it, they call to lost calves, warn of lions in the tall grass, or summon the herd to water, a secret language older than ours. And the calves? Born after 22 months in the womb, longer than any other land creature, they enter the world already cherished. Aunts, sisters, even unrelated females circle close, a living shield against the wild's dangers. This is their way. No elephant walks alone. But their story is not just one of majesty, it is one of survival. In the 1980s, the slaughter for ivory stole 60% of Tanzania's elephants. The survivors carry those scars. Yet today, thanks to those who stand guard, their numbers rise, slowly, stubbornly. And when the sun dips low, painting the savanna in gold and shadow, watch them move, silhouettes against the fire of the sky. They are the last great keepers of this land, the living bridges between the world we have lost and the one we might still save. Here, beneath the baobab's ancient arms, they remind us. To walk with giants is to walk with time itself. Tarangire's giraffes, towering giants, 6 meters of grace. Long tongues strip thorns, necks swing like hammers in battle, spotted like fingerprints, blending into the light. Mothers guard their young with fire, and when they run, a blur faster than the wind. Tarangire is more than a place. It's a heartbeat, a land where giants walk, where rivers whisper, and where the wind carries stories older than time. Here, the wild doesn't just survive, it thrives. And for a moment, so do we.
Les raisons sont presque 5. La première, c'est le mont Kilimanjaro. Ouais. La deuxième raison, c'est que Arusha est la porte d'entrée au parc animalier. Ouais. La troisième raison, Arusha, nous avions ici le tribunal pénal international pour les grands génocidaires du Rwanda. D'accord. Oui, parce que ceux qui ont fait des génocides au Rwanda, ils ont été jugés ici à Arusha. Mais la quatrième raison, Arusha est la capitale parlementaire pour les pays de l'Afrique de l'Est. Et le dernier point, Arusha est le centre. Si on quitte le sud, le cap vers l'Égypte, c'est le centre, il n'y a que part où il est la pierre du centre, c'est-à-dire au milieu. Ouais. Alors tous ces facteurs-là font que Arusha soit connu au niveau international. Paysages africains. Alors, dans les parcs, c'est la route comme ça.
Ce sont des bâtiments qui ont été construits par la grand-maman.
Et c'était juste il y a des bénévoles qui quittent la France, qui quittent l'Allemagne, qui viennent ici. Ils veulent peut-être contribuer.
Here, farmers don't just tend to beans. They open their homes.
Produit une fois, une seule.
A shared cup, a child's eager tour, a story over steaming brew.
On sème ça et puis on coupe et ça va être.
This isn't just coffee. It's a village inviting you to stay a while and leave with more than memories.
Lorsque ça donnait déjà, on coupe et ça pousse et ça continue comme ça.
Step into the heart of Tengaru, where coffee isn't just tasted, it's lived. From expert hands sorting red cherries at dawn to shared laughter over steaming cups, discover a village where every bean holds tradition and every encounter is a story to savor.
Pour avoir une explication. Coffee in Swahili means slap or cafe. Yeah? So when in a restaurant, don't say you need 5 cups of coffee, please. The waiter won't understand, and when you keep on insisting, she'll give you 5 slaps. Yeah? So the appropriate word for coffee is kahawa. And the kind of coffee which grows here in our village is coffee Arabica. You know? Despite that in our country we have 2 kinds of coffee. We have coffee Arabica and coffee Robusta. Yeah? But coffee Arabica grows very well on higher altitudes. Okay. Yeah? So here in Arusha and Kilimanjaro, we are more than 100 and 200 meters, 1,200 meters above the sea level. And this is where coffee Arabica grows very well. So that plant, until when you start to notice flowers on your plant, you just take 2.5 years. Yeah? So after 2 years and 5 months, you start to notice flowers just by the buds of your tree. So the flowers only take 1 week on the plant. After the bees are finished pollinating them, the flowers fall off from the plant. Yeah? And then you start to notice some tiny green beans. For these tiny green beans, until they are fully matured, it takes 3 months.
3 mois, ça devient alors rouge. Et rouge, ça prend 1 mois. Et chaque semaine alors, le rouge, par exemple, cette semaine ici, il est le rouge comme ça, on vient, on récolte, on part avec, l'autre semaine on vient, on récolte. Mais ça prend, la récolte générale prend 4 mois. C'est comme les feux rouges, les feux de rôtier. En général, sur la route, le vert, passé. Le jaune, arrêtez un instant. Et le rouge, attendez directement. Alors pour les cafés, c'est le sens inverse. Le rouge, go, c'est fini, on peut prendre. Le jaune dit, attendez un peu. Et le ça, donc, ouais, il faut pas. Alors c'est ça en général.
The mama, she's the one who will go to sell the banana bunch to the market. Yeah? And also when it comes to selling of these dried coffee beans, the father is the one who will go to sell the dried coffee beans. And also in our traditions and culture, women usually don't drink coffee. It's only men. That's why they put this system to avoid any kind of conflict which may rise in the family.
C'est cher. La raison, c'est que le café, quelquefois, est attaqué par des maladies. Alors, on doit peut-être chercher des médicaments pour soigner ces problèmes-là. Ce qui fait qu'on augmente les dépenses. Et aussi, c'est le café aussi le plus aimé.
You just rotate it like this, then the seeds will be coming out from here. Yeah? And after that, you soak them in water for 3 days to remove that sticky. Yeah? And after 3 days now, you can place them on a rack like this. Yeah, when you want to drink a cup of coffee, you come and work out. Yeah? So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to add our dried beans. And when you try to bite this bean, you can see it's very hard. Yeah? So it's tough to break it. Wageni wakaribishwa Tanzania yetu, hakuna matata. Kwanga watu wafurahi, hakuna matata. Jambo bwana, habari gani? Mzuri sana. Wageni wakaribishwa Tanzania yetu, hakuna matata. Twanga pole pole, hakuna matata. Hakuna matata. Karibu Tanzania, hakuna matata. Use this ceramic pot because it distributes heat evenly. This one is much deeper. Yeah. So I'm going to add. Kaita mama basi chali yangu. You know, njoo basi na mama. At this stage, breaking our beans is very easy.
And so, as the last sip of Tengaru's rich brew lingers, a taste of earth, tradition, and the warmth of its people, we leave the rolling coffee hills behind. But the adventure doesn't end here. Beyond the misty highlands, where the horizon stretches endlessly, a wilder heartbeat awaits. The untamed soul of the Serengeti, calling us into the heart of Africa's greatest saga. Long before men drew borders on maps, the Serengeti was already a legend in motion. Here, for over 4 million years, the grasses have danced beneath the same wind, the wildebeest have followed the same stars, and the lions have ruled a kingdom that time has never quite tamed. The Maasai called it Serengeti, the endless plain, a name that still whispers through the hills when the wind rises. The first European explorers, dazzled by this golden sea, believed they had touched myth. Yet science reveals an even greater truth. It is no accident that life explodes here. The ashes of nearby volcanoes, carried by the winds for eons, have nourished this land, making it the cradle of the greatest migration on Earth. 1.5 million wildebeest, 200,000 zebras, thousands of gazelles, a living tide that every year defies crocodiles, braves lions, and recreates the balance of the world. But the Serengeti has not always been invincible. In the 1920s, hunters' rifles decimated its herds. In the 1950s, there were plans to carve it up for agriculture. Yet it endured. Thanks to the Maasai, who knew a land without beasts is a land without a soul. Thanks to visionaries like Bernhard Grzimek, whose battles forced the world to see and to save this miracle. Today, it remains one of the last places on Earth where the land breathes as it did on the first morning, where lions roar as they did at the dawn of time, where every blade of grass carries the echo of ancient days. Welcome to the eternal breath of Africa. High in the Serengeti's acacias, baboons rule as kings of the canopy. At dawn, they leap from branch to branch, scanning the savanna from their perch. Here, survival is strategy, grooming to bond, calls to warn of danger. Their feast? Fruits, shoots, the occasional insect. Against leopards and shifting winds, their strength is unity, a troop moving as one. Watch them, lords of the trees. They don't hide, they reign. Nature, in all its splendor, can also reveal a harsh reality. What you are about to witness is powerful, sometimes difficult. If certain images may offend your sensibilities, you are free to look away. For those who stay, here is the Serengeti, raw, unfiltered, and in all its wild truth. A giant has fallen. His body, the savanna's final gift, draws the hungry. The lioness, queen of these lands, keeps a watchful guard over this unexpected feast. Her golden eyes scan the horizon, ready to chase off any intruder. Meanwhile, vultures circle patiently above, waiting for the perfect moment to swoop in. But when the scavenger's patience crosses paths with the predator's authority, confrontation is inevitable. A silent duel, where claws meet the cunning of wings. The savanna holds its breath. The savanna stretches out under a relentless sun, vast and unforgiving. At the heart of this golden expanse, a sleek figure moves with quiet grace. The cheetah, solitary and methodical, steps lightly, its amber eyes scanning the horizon for opportunity. It doesn't run, it watches. Every movement is measured, every breath is calm. Patience is its most formidable weapon. Suddenly, its gaze stops. A gazelle, slightly apart from the herd, grazes without suspicion. The cheetah freezes, its body still as stone. There is no wind, no sound, only anticipation. A tension, almost tangible, fills the air. Then, with fluid motion, it crouches, ready to pounce. But not yet. Not just yet. It waits for the perfect moment, when distance and wind will be in its favor. Later, under the scorching sun, the cheetah finally enjoys the fruit of its patience. The prey, now still, is a well-earned feast, laid bare in the open savanna. Its jaws close with precision, tearing flesh with silent efficiency. Around it, the landscape seems empty, but it remains vigilant. Its ears twitch at the slightest sound, its eyes scanning the horizon where rivals might appear. Every bite is a victory, but also a risk. Vultures already circle overhead, black shadows against the blue sky. And in the distance, the raucous laughter of hyenas echoes like a warning. It must eat quickly, not out of greed, but necessity. In this ruthless world, a stolen meal is a lost meal. So it savors, but never lets its guard down. For in the savannah, even under the burning sun, every moment is a matter of survival. In the Serengeti, Burchell's zebras, with their unique black and white stripes as distinct as fingerprints, travel nearly 800 kilometers each year in search of water and fresh grass. Science says their patterns confuse predators. To the Maasai, they are the horses of the thunder god, marked by lightning itself. Living painters of the savannah, their migration is an eternal dance to the rhythm of wild Africa. Under the shade of an acacia tree, the lion cubs of the Serengeti sleep, curled up against each other. Their small, fragile bodies rest to store the energy they'll need for their future role as kings. Did you know that lion cubs are born with spots on their fur, which fade as they grow? This adaptation helps them camouflage in the tall grass during their first weeks of life. Around them, the lionesses keep a watchful guard. In the savannah, 80% of lion cubs do not survive past 2 years, falling prey to predators or rival males. Yet those who grow up become the guardians of an ancient legacy. The lions of the Serengeti, descendants of the felines that ruled these lands 10,000 years ago, are the only big cats to live in social groups, the famous prides. A matriarchal organization where each female plays a specific role: hunting, raising the young, or defending the territory. And when these cubs finally open their eyes to the world, they will learn an unchanging rule. In the savannah, strength alone is not enough. They will also need cunning, patience, and above all, the support of the pride. Stretched out on the rocks of the Serengeti, male lions sleep up to 20 hours a day. A strategy to conserve energy for defending a territory as vast as 100 football fields demands strength. Their dark mane, a sign of maturity, attracts lionesses and intimidates rivals. Even asleep, they rule. Their mere presence maintains the order of the savannah. While the lions, unfazed, stretch their laziness in the sun, a jackal lurks, opportunistic and annoying. But the kings of the savannah don't even bother to blink. They know a single glance would send him running. The Serengeti jackal? That sly little trickster, looking like a fox with a mischievous streak, is the savannah's clown. Always the first to scavenge near the lion's leftovers, always the last to leave when danger lurks. They say he laughs at night, but it's really just to avoid ending up as dinner. Let's switch gears, from the jackal's tricks to the quiet power of the Serengeti's hippos. These 1.5-ton giants, who spend their days dozing in the water, are actually fearsome sprinters. They can run at 30 kilometers per hour, faster than a human. And beware of crossing them. Their jaws, which open to 180 degrees, crush everything in their path. Not to mention their sensitive pink skin, forcing them to coat themselves in mud for sun protection. Peaceful colossi, but best not to wake them up. Let's return to the lions of the Serengeti. Hidden in the tall grass, the male lion watches, motionless. His golden eyes scan the horizon, calculating every movement. He doesn't hunt, he waits. In the savannah, patience is a weapon as formidable as his claws. A rustle, a breath, and the strategy unfolds. The king never rushes. He rules through the art of waiting. We're done with the lions, but the savannah never sleeps. Every shadow hides a new story, and this new story is the story of Godwin, the man who knows the Serengeti by heart. Every trail, every watering hole, every mountain and rock that serves as his landmark. At first, I used to get lost, but now it's like the savannah speaks to me. He explains, pointing to the horizon. Yet this expertise comes at a cost. The days are long, the nights far from his family who stay in the village. We don't earn enough to see our loved ones often, he admits.
Ils sont à Ngorongoro. Il ne peut jamais aller à l'autre côté. S'il va à l'autre côté, il sera attrapé en prison.
Ah ouais?
Il ne faut pas qu'il rentre dans le parc national. Il reste ici à la conservation. Donc, mais les guides, il y a la place pour payer. Ils ne sont pas ici parce que c'est très ouvert.
Hotel fees, gas, everything comes out of his own pocket. But when a client spots a lion or an elephant thanks to him, his eyes light up. It's for these moments that I do it, he says, looking at the distant mountains. The Serengeti doesn't make him rich, but the Serengeti keeps him alive. Farewell, Serengeti. Now, to Ngorongoro, the final act of our journey. A colossal crater, a stage for nature in its purest form, where wildlife unfolds as nowhere else on Earth. Imagine a place where the earth itself seems to have held its breath. A crater so vast it cradles forests, lakes, swamps, and grasslands within its walls. A preserved Eden, untouched by the whims of time. Welcome to Ngorongoro, Tanzania's jewel, born nearly 3 million years ago from a volcanic cataclysm so powerful, it carved out a sanctuary unlike any other on Earth. The Maasai call it El Ngorongoro, the gift of life, and for good reason. This 20-kilometer-wide crater is a natural Noah's Ark, where over 25,000 animals live in harmony, as if frozen in a timeless bubble. Here, rare black-maned lions prowl among herds of buffalo and solitary elephants. Thousands of flamingos paint the lakes a soft pink, while the critically endangered black rhinos find their last refuge in these protected slopes. But Ngorongoro holds mysteries too. The Maasai, who descend into the crater to graze their cattle, tell stories of ancestral spirits still watching over this land. Archaeologists have uncovered traces of early hominids here, as if humanity itself began its story between these towering walls. Yet this paradise once faced extinction. In the 1950s, wild schemes proposed turning the crater into a private hunting reserve. Fortunately, voices rose in defense, and in 1979, UNESCO declared it a World Heritage Site. Affirming what the Maasai had always known, Ngorongoro isn't just a place. It's a miracle of nature, an open book on Earth's history, where every stone, every animal, and every whisper of wind tells a story older than humanity itself. Watch this scene closely. A lioness, queen of the savannah, casually lies down in front of a group of ducks as if nothing were happening, yet every move is calculated. She feigns indifference, but her golden eyes never leave her prey. In nature, hunting is a game of patience and theater. The unsuspecting ducks have no idea. But in a few seconds, the savannah will remind everyone who's in charge here. A lesson in strategy, where brute force often gives way to cleverness. Look at these lions. This vast horizon is their playground, their kingdom. Every blade of grass, every shadow, every rock belongs to them. Here, they don't just rule by strength, but because the savannah has always been their home. Before leaving Ngorongoro, let yourself soak in what isn't immediately visible. This crater is a place of contrasts. The nights are so cold that dew forms on the grass at dawn, while by midday, the sun scorches the earth, a reminder of its volcanic origins. The Maasai, who still descend here with their herds, call this journey Olmoti, the journey into the cold. Because here, the seasons seem to follow their own rules. And then there are the silences. Those that fall when the wind dies down, and you can almost hear the crater breathe. Scientists say Ngorongoro's acoustics are unique. Sounds travel differently here, as if carried by the walls. A lion's roar, a bird's cry. Everything echoes like a voice from the depths of time. Finally, there's that strange feeling, upon leaving, of abandoning a world that doesn't need us. A world where wildebeest, buffalo, and zebras are merely passing actors, just like us. Because Ngorongoro endures, unchanged, eternal. As if it's simply waiting for us to finally understand its true lesson. Sometimes, the earth is enough, just as it is. Let's return to the black screen as we began. This journey through Tanzania has been a dance with wonder, walking where elephants tread, feeling the Serengeti's breath, meeting the Meru, masters of coffee, guardians of tradition. But behind this beauty lies a fragile truth. Safaris leave scars, engines roar, tourists disrupt, and the land fractures. Despite efforts, poaching lingers, a shadow over paradise. Tanzania is magical, but delicate. Every choice can preserve or destroy. Remember this: when you see a lion or an endless plain, you're not just witnessing nature. You're holding its future in your hands. Travel wisely, protect fiercely. This is a legacy worth saving.